Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking an absolutely gorgeous new showcase from the Silverzz channel. We're going to be looking at exactly how this source material highlights the incredible intersection of high-end metallurgy, traditional art, and spiritual craftsmanship. All right, let's dive right into this. Sacred splendor. Now that phrase right there really sets the tone for this whole release. We're not just talking about your run-of-the-mill metalwork today. These are pieces specifically designed to completely elevate a space and a practice. It immediately establishes this profound feeling of high value and deep reverence that just carries through the entire showcase.
Part 1. The Silver Lotus Stand.
So the source gives us a really helpful direct translation right off the bat, explicitly defining the Agarbatti stand as an incense holder. This establishes exactly what this item actually does. It's a vessel specifically designed to safely hold your burning incense. I love how offering this clear translation grounds this incredibly ornate piece in a very practical, everyday utility before we even start talking about its material value. It's basically a highly refined tool for fragrance. And speaking of material value, 999, that number represents the absolute ultimate standard of purity. The channel makes a huge point of emphasizing that this lotus stand is crafted from 999 pure silver. That is literally the highest level of silver purity commercially available anywhere. Because it is completely unalloyed, meaning it contains virtually zero other metals, it's actually surprisingly soft. So to take something that soft and work it into a complex shape like a lotus flower, that requires some incredibly specialized craftsmanship, proving they are prioritizing precious, unadulterated material over typical mass production.
Moving on to Part 2. Elite Gifting and Occasions.
The showcase specifically categorizes this collection as elite silverware, and that's a very strategic phrasing. It totally separates these pieces from everyday, disposable items. Gifting a piece like this, or even getting one for yourself, is positioned as a real statement of high status and refined taste. It shows us they're targeting people who are looking for significant, lasting objects. Building on that prestige, the source also promises various unique models. So this silver lotus stand is really just one piece in a much wider collection, giving us options tailored to specific aesthetic needs. It's all about individualization. Instead of some generic one-size-fits-all approach to traditional items, you actually get to select pieces that perfectly match your own specific personal or cultural preferences. And the versatility here is honestly incredible. They frame these pieces as premium gifts to present to loved ones, highly adaptable items for any customized occasion, like weddings or major milestones, and finally, as an ideal addition to a pooja collection. That spread of uses is so deliberate. It beautifully spans the gap between personal gifting, big celebratory social events, and deeply private sacred rituals. Which brings us to Part 3, the ideal pooja collection. That phrase, ideal pooja collection, really grounds this piece in its ultimate sacred functional setting. You know, a puja is a profoundly sacred act of worship, so by categorizing this pure silver holder as an ideal component for that collection, the source illustrates how you can honor your everyday spiritual practices by utilizing the absolute highest tier materials available. It brings the concept of the sacred and the splendid perfectly together, tying up the whole narrative established at the beginning and showing us exactly where these elite items belong. So the real question to walk away with is, how will you integrate this elite sacred splendor into your own traditions? Whether you're drawn in by that incredibly soft, unalloyed 999 pure silver, the focus on individualized craftsmanship, or its designated place within a revered puja setting, this showcase gives us a truly fascinating look at high-end spiritual artifacts. I hope this explainer gave you a clear, structured understanding of all the cultural and material depth packed into this presentation. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and keep exploring.